Has the defensive change been like for you?
It's been great, I think Coach Madison's the knowledge of the game is obvious. He's got a ridiculous, understanding of every defense that you could possibly run, it seems. And I think what he's doing with the defense, him and Coach Hoke and everybody, I think that's really, I think it'll really help us this year with our defense being successful.
Coach Madison talked about moving more from a 4-3 under or 4-3 over more consistently. How does that affect you?
He's someone that makes the plays and everything, and I'm just here to understand the playbook and get everybody lined up. I think ultimately it puts all 11 guys on the field in a better position for success, and ultimately, that's what you want. You want to be the number one defense in the country. You want to be the number one rush defense, number one pass defense. You want to get the job done and end up playing in January.
Does it make your job harder or easier at middle linebacker?
I don't think it makes the job any harder. If you love the game, you don't look at it as harder or easier. You love the game. You like to get stuff done. So I think I don't think it makes it harder or easier.
This was only one practice with full pads on, but what are your impressions so far of the offense with Doug Nussmeier?
He's a great guy. He's brought a lot of intensity to practice and everything. And you're asking the defensive guy about the offense, and I'd love to tell you about our offense and what the plays are like and everything, but I don't have a full understanding of the offense. But from what I've seen, from going against our offense and everything, he's done a tremendous job so far, and everybody loves him. And I think the intensity and his competitiveness that he's brought to practice is really good too.
Was there a noticeable difference though in terms of going against it from past years?
It's hard to tell since the past is the past. You move on. Things change. Life's constantly changing, and you're constantly having to adapt and really adjust to what life puts in front of you. And really, it's completely different. Last year's last year. This year, we're on a mission to be playing in January.
A lot of depth at the linebacker position. How has that competition kind of amped things up this spring?
I think there's competition at every single position, and the competition at linebacker, you love it. If you don't like competition, why are you playing the game? Not everything's handed to you in life, and being able to, compete against some guy you love that's next to you, that's your teammate. It's just, it's the love of the game.
How do you think Mike McCrae's done? He's a guy that we didn't see any of last year.
Mike's made a tremendous improvement since last year. I think he understands the playbook that Coach Madison's putting in and everything, and he's really, from spending time with him and everything, I think he's really matured into a good player, and he's done very well so far.
He seemed to be a pretty big guy coming to see a pretty physical player.
That you got to break down tape and watch it, but every aspect of Mike's game is, he's here for a reason. People just don't walk into Michigan just because they have talent and they can get the job done. So.
When Jake made the move over to Mike, did it signal to you like I need to raise my game even more? I want to beat this guy out and play.
Since the day I stepped on campus, you compete no matter what, regardless of the situation. It doesn't really matter who you're competing against. It's really competition's great, like I said, and having Jake move over and he's a funny guy to be around and stuff, and I think it makes everybody better, like putting guys in position to succeed.
How has Desmond stepped up into that leadership role going into his senior year?
You can tell during workouts and stuff, he's done a great job, communicating, and really, he understands what Michigan football is about. And he's been here for 4 years now, going on his 4th year, and I think he really, like I said, has a great understanding of Michigan football.